Being anxious about your plans or your goals or your life is the same as questioning God's will for you or his plans for you. It reminds me of Job when he was asking God, why me? Why am I going through this? And God in Job 38 to 41 replied with rhetorical questions. And he says to Job, have you entered the storehouses of the snow? And he proceeds to say, where were you when I laid its foundation? So the things that you think you know, half of them you don't even know. Not even half of them, about 90% of what I know and what I've created, you have no idea of it. So how do you know that you're not supposed to get sick? Or how do you know that today where you are is not where you're supposed to be? So that is when we are able to completely surrender to God, that the peace falls within us and falls upon us, because we have that understanding that we trust God's process. We trust his timing. We trust what he plans for us. Because if we don't trust that, then we start getting anxious. We start having questions. We start having anxiety because now we're unsure of where we are going. And then Paul proceeds to say to us in Philippians 4, 6 to 7, do not be anxious about anything, whether through prayer, thanksgiving, petition, present your requests to God. Right. So which means that with God, all things are possible. And you genuinely have nothing to worry about because he consistently says to us, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So now Paul says to us, don't be anxious about anything. Understand and learn how to surrender to God's will and allow God's timing to prevail as it's supposed to. Because when we start questioning God's will, then we start going into depression and having anxiety because now we have all these questions about our lives, our goals. Is it going to happen for me? When is it going to happen? Am I waiting for something that will never happen? Now you start spiraling into this depth of questions that never stop. So Paul says, do not be anxious. And then he proceeds to say in verse 7, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, because when you have that peace within you, right? When you have the understanding that all things happen for me, because I know that God has plans for me, not to harm me, but to make me prosper, then you genuinely stop being anxious about things that don't happen for you or things that happen for you that you feel like are not supposed to happen for you, like Job, right? Because now you understand the will of God. You understand God's timing and you understand that I trust what he does for me, whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's part of my plans and I'm supposed to sit with that and find peace within that. Right. So it's not easy to find peace if you are not okay with God's will, if you're questioning his plans for you, or if you don't trust that what he's doing it for the best. Therefore, I'm here to remind you that be still and know that he is God. Don't question his plans for you. Don't question what you have going on in your life right now because he knows exactly what he's doing. That is why Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego were able to sit in the fire because they trusted God and they knew that God will show up for me no matter the circumstances. I know that he will be here with me this instant and I will survive because I know that he's with me. Right? He said, do not be afraid. Even in the valley of death, I'll still be with you. I'll still walk with you. So go through these challenges and face these challenges with an understanding that you are not alone. God is with you. God is here. He's the living God. So yes, find joy in knowing that God is with you, in knowing that God will never forsake you nor leave you, in knowing that there's already existing plans made or tailored just for you. Find joy in that understanding that no matter where I go in the world, I will never be alone. God will always be with me. God will always protect me, just as he protected David when Saul was after him, right? God is our protection. He's our guidance. He's our peace, right? So find joy in understanding that finding God and being with God is our peace. That is why John says to us in 1 John chapter 1 verse 4, and I write this so our joy may be full. So he shares this book so we understand all things that he went through and understand how great God is, because he lived that life. He saw God's hands in his life, and he saw how happy and peaceful it is with God in it. So he says, I share this with you so you might as well also find your peace in knowing that God is with me, God is for me, and nothing will be against me if he is with me. Right? John doesn't want us to live with worry. John doesn't want us to live with anxiousness or anxiety or depression. He wants us to live freely, understanding that all things or all plans that God has are for us to prosper. So find joy in knowing that all things are made for me. There's already existing plans for me. What happens to me, it happens for me, so I grow and become a better person. What changes for me, what I lose, God will double it and bring back 2 times of what I've lost, just like he did for Job. So these things, they surprisingly still apply till this day. The people that lose you, you're going to gain more people that understand you better. The job that you lose, you're going to gain more jobs that even give you better experience or better pay, right? So do not be afraid. Do not be anxious. Don't worry about 10 years from now. Worry about today. Worry about today, whether you've prayed, whether you've built that relationship, whether you trust him more today than yesterday, right? So your things can flow the way they are supposed to flow. Just to show you how much of a planner God is, right? When he sent Moses to Egypt and Moses says, Father, I can't speak well. And then God proceeds to say, Aaron is already on the way to meet you. So this should show you that God plans ahead every time. There's things that you don't know that are part of the plan that you're still yet going to come across. So why do you give up now? Because I'm quite certain that Moses did not know that God had already planned that his brother was going to meet him, right? So that is the case with us. We do not know the plans of God ahead of us that are already in place just for us to be comfortable or maybe help us achieve what we're supposed to achieve. How amazing is it that when Moses said, Father, I can't speak, God said, I already have someone to assist you. You have no need to worry about that. That is beautiful. That reminds us to trust and believe that God's plan are the right plans for us. So whatever situation you're in, or whatever thing that is making you anxious and making you scared and making you worry because you don't know what tomorrow holds, trust in God. Trust in his timing. Trust in his will. Trust in his plans, because he knows exactly what he's doing, right? He's going to get you to the land that he promised Israelites and all of them, right? And God will do exactly that for us. So God doesn't start something and not finish it, right? He always finishes what he starts. So don't worry, don't be anxious, don't take all that and put it on your shoulders, right? Take it all. As Paul says, take all of it and put it on God. Speak to God, pray to God, right? And I hope that we have learned so much from this session. So please do not be scared, do not worry. And if you are still here, please do like and comment. You can just share anything that you'd like to share, or if you have questions, you can always ask. And please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye.